Hi friends, today we're going to be doing Unit 4, Lesson 12, the Western and Eastern Empires in the Second Rome. We're going to start by going over some of the key vocabulary words that you'll be hearing in today's reading. Our first word is complex, which means difficult to understand, made up of many different parts. Our next word is dominant, most powerful, ruling, or controlling. Our next word is persecute, to harass or treat unfairly, often because of race or religion. Our next word is vision, an idea or picture in your imagination. We are now going to move into today's reading, which you can find in your small reader. Chapter 16, the Western and Eastern Empires. In the previous lesson, you learned about the many invasions that led to the decline of Rome. You learned that the Roman armies had become weak compared to the days of Julius and Augustus Caesar, and that they relied on paid soldiers or mercenaries to protect Rome. You also learned about how the Roman emperors and senators wasted lots of money on bread and circuses, gladiator games, chariot races, and other luxuries, but did not spend money on the things that would keep Rome safe. The Roman Empire simply became too vast to handle. It was impossible for a single emperor working with senators and proconsuls to control everything that was happening over thousands of miles of Roman territory. And there were many selfish emperors as well. The governors and generals in charge of the Roman provinces could do as they pleased. Over the course of many years, Rome itself became less and less important to the people who lived in and ruled the Roman provinces, which stretched from Italy to the surrounding areas of England, France, Spain, North Africa, and the Middle East. Roman culture changed in important ways as well. We know that the Romans always tried to bring their own laws, lifestyle, and culture to the countries or tribes they conquered. At the same time, the Romans ended up adopting or taking on parts of the cultures that they conquered. In other words, even though the Romans had their own culture and traditions, they also picked up new ideas and customs from the people they met in faraway places. Around this same time, the empire itself was going through another big change. The Roman Empire was so vast and so complex that it needed to be divided into two parts: the Western Roman Empire, with Rome as its capital, and the Eastern Roman Empire. The Eastern Roman Empire would be ruled from a new capital city called Constantinople. Constantinople was named after the important Roman leader. His name was Constantine the Great. Constantine brought new hope and confidence to many Romans. His new city of Constantinople was a chance at a fresh start. Even with this new start, politics were just as difficult in the Eastern Empire as they had been in Rome. Under Constantine's rule, there was still conflict and warfare. Meanwhile, the city of Rome remained the center of the Western Roman Empire, as well as the center of Christianity. The political situation in Rome was worse than ever. Emperors came and went, and many politicians could hardly agree on anything. Worst of all, wars were breaking out in the north as more and more surrounding tribes started looking for new homes on Roman land. Eventually, the Eastern Roman Empire completely separated from the Western Roman Empire. Once separated, it wasn't called the Eastern Roman Empire anymore. By 410 CE, the Eastern Empire was known as the Byzantine Empire. This photo shows the most famous Byzantine church, the Hagia Sophia. The Byzantines built many churches, but none compared to the Hagia Sophia, which is still standing today after more than 1600 years. By 500 BC, the Western Empire had fallen apart, with most of the provinces falling to one barbarian tribe or another. A Byzantine emperor, Justinian, raised a mighty army and marched west to reconquer the western province, thus waging new wars in the same areas Julius Caesar and Augustus Caesar had been hundreds of years earlier. As emperor, he developed a body of Roman laws called the Justinian Code. The Justinian Code was a collection of past laws from previous emperors. In addition to laws he developed himself. The Justinian Code is one of Justinian's major accomplishments as emperor. Justinian appears in the center of this mosaic, which you can see today in an Italian church. The Western Empire in Europe, from Italy across France and Germany and all the way to Britain, drifted into a long, sad period without leadership and vision from the powers of Rome. The glorious Roman Empire finally came to an end. You may now move on to Unit 4, Lesson 12, Google Form.